think I've been neglecting my plants a little bit over the last few days. Don't think I've been watering them as consistently as maybe I should, or maybe I need to, or maybe I'm just trying something a little different. Talked about my rose bush on the show a few days ago, and somebody told me it went dormant, and looking crappy in the off season is kind of part of a rose bush's life cycle. A little more. Again, I struggle with that, thinking I can control the world and have a rose bush that's doing awesome year round. As somebody told me on my show the other day, you can plant a seed, but God needs to make it grow. And I think that's a really good reminder to me and maybe to others about, I don't want to call it limitations, because I hardly think we're limited in this world, but we need help. And God is there to give us that help, but we got to give him time. Yeah. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go over here. I am going to turn on my lamp, turn on my fireplace while the coffee gets started. Oh, watched a movie last night. The end of that, it was like the Battle of Solostov or something like that, some Russian sounding city name. And it was I've watched 2 Russian films in a row. The Mikhail Kalashnikov, who did the AK-47, and now one about a Russian sniper, a woman Russian sniper who befriended Eleanor Roosevelt, and kind of about her life. And I thought both of them were actually surprisingly good. Wouldn't think the Soviet Union or Russia, I guess it's Russia now, would have the ability to put out quality, interesting movie, I guess. I don't know why. It also is interesting just seeing in both of them how the soldiers in both movies were human beings. They weren't, that loved and had relationships and were real people. And I think that shows how bias comes into play in so much of our lives. I almost just instinctively, from being in the United States, picture the soldiers in the Soviet Union being almost these mindless, emotionless cyborgs of creatures marching forward and at war. And this movie showed them as normal people with regular emotions, not perfect people by any stretch. But very much like, again, it's funny to say, just normal people. She was, during the movie, she was going about her business of sniping 309 fascists, as she called them. And did it rather mercilessly. And I guess that was her job. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really good movie. If anybody's looking, I mean, and wants a totally different kind of perspective out there. Again, I think it was called like the Battle of Solostov or something like that, and it was about a woman Russian sniper. And the other one again was the story about Mikhail Kalishnikov, the founder of or the inventor of the AK-47. I think it's an assault rifle. Not even totally sure. Yeah. So I'm going to get up from here. I'm going to bring my candle, which is running low. But I'm thankful for what I have left. It's going to be my thought process today right there. And I mean, I told her, simplify it would just be gratitude. Would it be real easy to be bummed that there was only this much left in the candle? But it would be just as easy to be thankful for how much candle I have left. And the way I look at this candle is really the way I look at life. And I think overall determines my happiness, but I think if we looked inside of us, we'd all catch ourselves going, wow, I only have X number of dollars in the bank. I'm 60 years old, I only have so many years left. Boy, my job sucks. I don't get along with my wife. I got bills. Or you could flip it around and think about what you do have. And I'll just promise you, thinking about, and I say this to myself, reminding, I'm saying it to you obviously, but I'm saying it with the purpose of reminding myself about the importance of gratitude. Good morning, Bob Ballard. Must have sleepy eyes today because it's kind of hard reading the comments. Let's get up. Let's grab my phone. Let's slide over here. Put my phone down here right now. Get myself a little water. We'll go with this one today. Let the coffee do its thing for a minute. And sit down and chat with you fine folk. Maybe light my glorious candle, which I am thankful for. Good morning, Andrew from Scotland. How are you today? How are you? Oh, I'll tell you what, even that first sip of water in the morning is something to be celebrated. I think there's a lot to be celebrated. And I don't think most of us do a good job of it, or at least, I mean, I won't speak for you, but I might speak for you. That most of us don't do a good job celebrating life because we're all so focused on the challenges we face. Oh. So, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy. And this is Coffee with Ken. It is Friday morning. It is Halloween. I miss my little ones today. I got two beautiful little ones, a 3-year-old girl named Eve and a little boy, Augie, who's 4.5, and they're living with their mama further away than I'd like. And honestly, it makes me sad a little bit, especially on Halloween, not being there for them and being involved with them, picking a costume and getting dressed up and going trick-or-treating. And Halloween, I'll tell you what, it's, as you grow, it's kind of a, you know, I don't know, a lot of holidays are based on religion, like Christmas or Easter or what have you. And I don't know, honestly, how the starting of Halloween. And as candy and costume centered as it is, it's still kind of one of my favorite memories as a child. Favorite holidays probably as a child. Who doesn't like to go to school in a costume, and as soon as school's over, you get to go out and go door to door in your neighborhood collecting candy. And I'm sure not all of us had the fondest memories, and some of us grew up with different childhoods and what have you. I'm sure it's not rosy for all, but for me, it's a fond memory. And I miss my kids today. So anyway, it's Friday morning. It's October 31st. It is 5:59 a.m. Happy Friday. Coffee with Ken is a show I have done for quite some time. It is a show about me talking. It is a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life, kind of sharing the adventure of one man's life. And I've done it for a while, like I said, and I've realized the feelings and the emotions and the worries and the joys that I have aren't that different than the ones that you have. Just talking about Halloween, I'm sure we all have our memories of it. And just thinking about a couple of years ago when I was living in a little home in Naperville, western suburb of Chicago, that Halloween was still fun for me and exciting for me, even though I wasn't going trick-or-treating. And on that year, I wasn't with my little ones. They were, my daughter was just a couple of weeks old at that time. Still wasn't with her. It's been a crazy adventure. And I'll tell you what, it all plays out for you in front of the camera on Coffee with Ken. Not all of it, but for those that have been watching a while, you were there with me 3 years ago when I was decorating my little house and having trick-or-treaters come and what have you. My dog Holly, she was a good girl. And yeah. I'm gonna get my coffee going. Good morning, Opal. What state am I from? I live in Wisconsin. I am originally from the western suburbs of Chicago. I moved up here in February. I currently am working 2 jobs. I got a job when I first moved here. Got recruited to another job in the same industry. Left the first job I had, and then found out kind of was worried, but found out it wasn't working out at the second job. And that happened about 6 weeks ago, and it kind of left me scrambling. I grabbed and took a couple jobs that are part-time, but I figured 2 part-time jobs add up to 1 full-time job. And in this case, I don't think they honestly do. Because over the last couple days, I haven't been needed at work. And I'm going, wow, that's a weird feeling. That is a weird feeling. Good morning, Noah. And anyway, for those that have been watching a while, Opal, you don't need to get out of bed if you're not ready to get out of bed. I don't know what your day holds. I don't know if you're working today. I really don't know that much about you, Opal. All I know is you're a kind woman that deserves some rest when her mind is ready to let her rest. So if you need to get up, do it with style, do it with gratitude. Be grateful for the sleep you've gotten. Be grateful that it's Friday if you don't work this weekend. Be grateful for Halloween. Be grateful for the sun, the rain, the wind. As much as I'm sure it'd feel great to stay in bed, if you need to get out, you got to find some reasons to be grateful just the same. But if you don't need to get out of bed, Opal, you just sit back, relax, shut your eyes, and maybe drift off to the smooth morning voice of Coffee with Ken. So anyway, as I was saying, for those that have been watching a while, you know this is not just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, am I grateful for what you not get in your life? Somebody asked me, hold on. Well, first of all, I was about to take my first sip of coffee, but somebody's asking me a question about gratitude. You are grateful for what you not get in your life. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So I would like to answer your question, but I don't really understand it. So anyway, I'll ignore it for now. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, again, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. Hold on, I gotta drink some water before I drink my first sip of coffee. Somebody's interpreting it for me. It means, are you grateful for the things you don't have in your life? Like, I don't think, am I grateful for the things I don't have in my life? I mean, you're using a negative word or a word of lack, and you're wanting to me, you're asking, I guess I don't. Be grateful for what you have in your life. I mean, I'm not grateful that this much candle's gone. I'm grateful for how much candle I have left, if that makes sense. You know, am I grateful? No, okay, I'm not. I was gonna say, am I grateful I don't have a headache right now? No. If you're focusing on what you don't have in your life, you're not grateful. You know? Yeah, if you're focusing on what you don't have in your life, that's not gratitude. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, again, if you're focused on what you don't have in your life, that's not gratitude. People will often say, okay, I'll say this. People will often, if you're talking to somebody, how many times have you heard, well, it could be worse, at least, you know, you're not in the wheelchair like that person or something like that. I've never found any joy in being better off than somebody else. I don't feel joy because I can walk and that person can't, or that person's sick and I'm healthy doesn't make me feel joyous or grateful at all. And I don't think that's where gratitude comes from. And I've never liked when people said, well, be thankful you're not like them, or somebody else has it worse. That's not gratitude. Gratitude's for what you have. Yeah. And I'm grateful for this cup of coffee. And I am so excited for my first sip. And my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. That's good. Been drinking a lot of the pumpkin spice lately. And it's nice. This is I don't know if you guys were here during the open. But it's the Starbucks Sumatra. Oh. Yeah. So anyway, it's Friday morning. Got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. Got a full pot over there. Meeting a viewer today. There's a local viewer, and I don't know how long she's been watching. Hey, I believe things happen for a reason. And I don't think there's coincidences, but I was just talking about meeting a viewer today, going to coffee with a viewer of mine. I've never met her before. I don't think I've ever spoken with her on the phone, but we're meeting for coffee today. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't do that too often, but I do it when I can. Again, the neat thing about social media is you are broadcast to a global audience, if you will. But which is great because it puts whatever message you want to share. And I hope my message is one of hope. But because of that, you're not concentrated. It's not like you're using a blowhorn on the street corner, really concentrated, giving your message to a local audience, or I don't know, a school teacher or something like that, where you get connected to your community, or a preacher where you're getting connected to your community. But you do get to put your message, whatever it is, in front of a larger audience. But it's usually not very local. But I'm going for coffee with a viewer today, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh. Oh. It is nice, Vanessa. It is nice. I have a lot of people that watch my show that I've met in other ways, but it's fun to meet somebody. I'm always a little nervous about it because I'm just me. And I think because I'm on the opposite end of the phone as you guys, that I'm something special or something different or something. I mean, I am special, I am different, I am unique, but we're all special and we're all different and we're all unique. And I think that's a big part of my show, where I unashamedly will feel good about things, or pride for things, or confident in things, or feel I am special, I am unique, what have you. And I'm not doing it, saying it to brag. I'm saying it to inspire you guys to feel good, special, unique about who you are and what you're doing in life. Oh. But we have what looks like it is a glorious audience today. We've got 41 people watching. It's just after 6 o'clock. And feels nice. Tell you, the first few sips of coffee feel really nice as well. Do I think it's mostly men or women in my chats? I do not know if it's mostly men or women in my chats. I think we get a pretty diverse group of people. I would think most of my content connects to men more than it does to women, but just because I'm sharing the life and the experiences of a divorced guy. And I think because of that, I know my videos get seen by, I don't know how the algorithm works, but I think connects with other men out there that have been through similar things and feel good that I'm able to express the feelings that they're going through or that they're having in a way that they'd either be too scared to share or are unable to share for whatever reason. Do I have the Divorced Dads starter pack? I don't know what that means. Good morning from Germany. Bob Ballard says, Lord of heaven and earth has hiding these things from the wise and understanding. I don't know really what that means either. And that could be in the Bible, and just because I don't understand it, it doesn't shock me. Do I think most people want money rather than God's wisdom? Yeah. Yeah, I think in all of our minds from birth, and how most, if not all of us, not all, but most of us are programmed to sacrifice anything for money, which seems kind of weird. I mean, it seems really weird if you think about it. I mean, it seems we all need money, and I talked about it yesterday on the show. I think for a single guy, you know, money makes life easier up to a point, and I think I'll just throw out for a single guy. I think if you make $100 grand, you're doing fairly well, and you can go on vacation, and you can afford your home and buy a car, and it covers your bills. But much beyond that is just excess and doesn't really come with any extra happiness whatsoever. But for some reason, we all think our whole goal in life should be to make more money and not enjoy life or not find peace or not find contentment. We think that comes through money. And when I think it says in the Bible, don't worship false idols, I don't think they're talking about a golden calf or another god. I think false idols in the Bible, at least my interpretation, means worshiping money or sex, a fancy car, a gorgeous wife, or even maybe relationships through other people. I think the Bible really wants us to be content and feel content with ourselves. And I think I don't know what you guys feel, but I know for most of my life I felt anxious and worried. And was I going to make it to this appointment? Was this going to go bad? Did I have a disease? Is my hair falling out? Would I be able to pay a bill? Is she going to like me? And my mind would just bounce from thing to thing about what I worried about. And over the last 6 years, I've done a better job. I'm certainly not perfect about it. I certainly was worrying about things this morning. Leaving that up to God a little bit and reminding myself that I can plant a seed, but God makes it grow. Oh. How did Jesus take over the internet? It's new right now. Did Jesus take over the internet? You mean because if you flip around, a lot of people are talking about it? I'll tell you what, that should be good news to I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any other religion at all. But I'll tell you what, the more I have faith that, the more I believe I am forgiven and that there is a reason and there is a higher power, the better I feel. Potato Man says he is atheist. That's okay, Potato Man. I mean, are you okay? Or when you say you're atheist, and here's my thoughts, atheism seems like a person that wants to tell the other world that there is no God, the rest of the world that there is no God, rather than just not believe in God. And it's okay. I'm not here, I'm not concerned. A big part of the Christian belief is spreading the word. I've never been a great salesman. I just tell you how I feel. And if for instance, I love my Audi A6 and I talk a lot about Audis, and maybe by talking about Audis, people will buy those cars. But to try and twist your arm and get you to buy one wouldn't be my thing. And the same is true with Christianity. I mean, I've been reading 2 chapters of the Bible every night, and to be honest, I don't think it's bringing me closer to spirituality at all, really. I'm going, this is ridiculous. What I've been reading the last 2 or 3 nights in the book of Exodus is just endless description of exactly the dimensions of various religious things, altars and tabernacles and curtains and the ark. And it seems ridiculous to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. But I do believe you can accomplish great things over time with determination. And for me, I think a great thing would be able to say that I've read the Bible cover to cover. Cram says, it is the greatest book. I'll tell you what, in the early 90s, I struggled with anxiety and depression. My dad gave me my first self-help book, if you will, and it was titled Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It was written by a guy named Richard Carlson, and it was a great book. I'm getting the chills just talking about it. And the excitement I felt as I read a chapter or 2 a day, and each chapter was just little 2-page nuggets of gold about feeling good and being in the moment and just being happy or being content or whatever. And I went to work that day. I was working at Bear Stearns, a brokerage in Chicago, and I was telling people the good news, and somebody who I thought was a curmudgeon said, oh, you should read the Bible. That's really got the best news of all. And I wasn't a believer in any way. And again, I'm still not sure what I believe in. But exposing myself by going to church on Sunday mornings, I tell people, go for the coffee, go for the music, go to meet women. I don't care why you go to church. I think just being there is an opportunity for something good to happen in your life. And for me, as a guy that struggled with anxiety most of my life, and still does, I remember them talking about fear and some passage from the Bible and talking about giving your fear to God. And I'm not exactly quoting it, but I'll tell you what, that felt great. And there's a song out there called Same God. And one of the verses is, you are the God of David. And although we don't all face Goliath, we all battle our own giants. And I'm telling you, I got the chills just saying that. That's not an exact line from the song, But I cried like a baby when I heard that verse the first time, because it meant so much to me, because I was battling my own demons or my own giants or what have you. And that line really resonated with me. Have I met any women at church? Not like in a romantic way. Not in a romantic way. So I don't know if that answers your question. I haven't dated any women from church. Brian said, even if you don't believe in God, using the Bible as a reference for how you live your life will make it more successful. I lean on the Bible, again, from a person that struggled with anxiety and depression and wondered why, and is life worth living at times? And there's so many stories in the Bible of hardship and overcoming it through faith. And if you watch, again, if you watch The Chosen, they're all struggling with their own issues as well. And I think it makes you feel okay with the struggles that life comes along your way. Many people use religion to justify hate. Religion is supposed to be personal, and only you should be able to define what it is. I'll just tell you, because the way you... All right, I don't care what's going on in your mind, guy, whoever wrote that. But I just got finished saying a bunch of good things and positive things and feeling better. And your instinct was to type something with the word hate in it. And I just know, or I'm assuming, if your response to everything I just said has the word hate in it, I'm guessing you're not in a good place. Yeah. Like Brian was commenting, he's struggled with depression, and God helps. That would have been a natural response to what I was saying, I think. But a natural response for you was people using religion to justify hate. And I'm going, wow, these must not be much fun at parties. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I'm running low on my first cup of coffee. Julie Flanagan, you got on a little late today. Oh, Julie, I don't want you to be too jealous. I don't want you to be too jealous, Julie. I'm seeing another viewer this morning. Oh, yeah. Having coffee with another viewer this morning. Let's see, thank you. I feel like I'm far gone, like not savable, and I tried all the psych meds, they don't help. Who said that? Do you want me to dig into that, Alexa? Are you real? Are you, and I don't know what you do. Okay, I know what you do. But I don't know, you can't just flip a switch and believe in God, or believe that. I'll tell you, I remember it happening 6 years ago, when I was going, holy crap. I thought my life I was a realtor, wasn't selling any homes. I'd moved out of my home I loved that I shared with this gorgeous, young, talented woman. I I had a dog that I missed. I had a neighborhood I missed. Couldn't pay my bills, wasn't seeing. I was struggling in so many ways. I was drinking alcohol and smoking weed as often as I could to get through the pains that I was going through. And I thought life couldn't get much worse. I went out with a buddy for some drinks, went to the casino. Fortunately, I won a little money, for the record. And I'm driving home and I get a DUI. And I'm going, oh, crap. And I tell you what, I was fortunate I didn't get hurt or hurt anybody. And I'd love to say it was a life-changing moment for me and I gave up drinking and weed because of the DUI, but I did not. But anyway, I remember the voice in my head was so negative, and it had been for so long. And I said, I just can't carry all these worries all the time. God, I don't even believe in you, God, but please, if there is a God, take these worries, take my rent payments, my bills, my DUI, and help me carry them. And I'll tell you what, it hasn't been magic since then, but it's been better. I'm gonna get some more coffee. Do I have to go to subscriber only today? The more you read the Bible, I think the more it takes hold in your life in a positive way. You read to bolster belief. Okay, Brian, I'm not reading to bolster belief, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm curious, but I'm not trying to bolster belief by reading the Bible. I'll just say that. That's not really my intent for it. It's almost just to see if I can do it. Yeah. It's almost just to see if I can do it. And I don't need my belief bolstered, I don't even think. That's not really why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to see if I can. I know it's you read to solidify belief. I almost don't even feel the need to solidify belief. I'm reading to see if I can. I'm reading because I think there's a demand out there. A lot of people want to hear the Bible but aren't going to read it. I have an audience. I read 2 chapters a night. People like my voice. I'm told to do audiobooks. These are all reasons I'm reading the Bible. And I thought, what better book to read as an audio book than the Bible? It's the #1 selling book of all time. You know, what better audio book for me to read? And like I said, I think if somebody goes to church for whatever reason, whether it's for the free coffee, if you're homeless and you need a warm place to stay, for the girls, for the music, I think the act of going to church is positive for whatever reason. And I know by me reading the Bible and even questioning it, even kind of joking about it, because I tell you what, some of the chapters and some of the words seem ridiculous. And again, every night I give a fairly honest opinion of what the heck did I just read? That was 2 chapters of detailed instructions on how to craft an ark. Or on the other hand, how little of a part of the Bible Adam and Eve's story was. It's like a paragraph and a half. Yeah. Lena, how long have you had an account? How long, if anyone's watching, tell me how long Lena Lamonte has had an account. It makes me laugh now. Yeah. let's see. Many years, have you? Hmm. But anyway, it's Friday morning. 2 days. 2 days. That's what I expected. Lena Lamonte said she's had an account for many years, but it turns out she's been around for 2 days. How did I know that? How did I know that? Welcome aboard, Lena. I'm glad you're watching. You're my biggest fan. I appreciate you. Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice. That is so nice. You absolutely look like the American people. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Julie, do we need to go to subscriber only? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're just going to try something first. I've mentioned women twice now about church. Well, I mentioned the music and coffee and the feeling of community twice now too. Oh, thank you. I love you too, Kay, for watching. You have a new dentist appointment. They're like new car salesmen. I hope this one isn't trying to, I don't know what you mean by that. They'll milk your insurance. I don't doubt at all. I don't doubt at all that doctors and the people in the medical field are paying their bills with the services they offer you and don't have you do tests that, I'm not saying all doctors, but yeah, no, I don't. The medical field is a business that makes more, that sells MRIs and EKGs and probably does way more tests than they need to. So I don't doubt that at all, that a dentist is going, you know, they might say, well, it could be this, we better check for this. And you're going, well, okay, hey, my insurance pays for it, so go ahead and check. You know, I just don't see how it'd be at all possible for the medical field to not do tests, because it might be something serious. So we better look into that. And honestly, the cash register's ringing. And I hate to be so cynical. And I don't feel that way about my last doctor at all. I thought she was a really good person that I could talk to. Yeah. But I think it all happened for me. Don't get me started on COVID and science, but I think that's when I started being suspicious. Brian says he's struggling waiting on an answer to a daily prayer, waiting on a veteran's benefit. Well, Brian, I mean, I'm sure that's challenging, but and I don't know what my point is, but I'll bet you everybody on this stream is waiting on something and struggling with something. So at least know you're not alone, and God's not going to fly in and bring in when you say like an answer to a prayer, waiting on a veteran's benefit. When you're praying, are you asking God to do something? I'm just curious. Okay, so yeah, I don't think, I mean, you do you, and I don't know anything, but I never really ask God to make something a certain way, or to deliver a veteran's benefit, or a windfall of cash, or, and I'm not saying I'm doing it right, but yeah, I don't expect God to be a magician that waves a wand and makes things the way I want them to be. You know, like I'll pray for strength or for wisdom or for endurance or for my little ones to be taken care of. But I don't think God's going to magically make things the way I think they should be. Because he has a different, in my mind, he has a different vision on the way things should be. And even when things don't go, like I never thought I'd be in Appleton, Wisconsin, or sell my scooter or what have you. But I think things are as they should be. I would have rather, you know, in a perfect world, I never would have been divorced. I would have been happily married and everything would have worked out just the way I envisioned it would work out. But that's not the way life is. So I don't ask God for anything. And maybe you can, I don't know. But if you're waiting for a veteran's benefit to come in and asking God to bring it in, I mean, that's just not the way I'd go about it, but you do you. Katie said, my presence is peaceful. God's working through me. You can sense it. I think God is working through me, too, Katie. I appreciate you saying that. Again, I think my talk of faith, I think, sometimes is more powerful than a pastor's, because I'm not trying to sell you it. I'm not saying the pastor's trying to sell you it, but it's his job. He's in front of a bunch of people that want sold something, that are asking to have their belief enhanced. I'm a guy in the trenches going, holy crap. I feel a little better when I go to church. I feel a little better when I hold the Bible. I feel a lot better when I listen to faith music. Hello, Graham. How are you? How are you today? The candle is pleasant, Jaleesa. I tell you what, it's that, and I'll tell you what, for anyone looking for something pleasant at home, go to YouTube and pop on a fireplace video. They're really nice. They're really nice, the crackling of sound and the flickering of the lights. Julie, are you still there? I decided Lena had been around long enough. I'd given Lena enough chances. Good morning, Millie. How are you today? Good morning, Abigail. Your dad has taken us to Green Bay, Wisconsin, said Abigail. Where do you live? Opal, yeah, okay. I love that, Opal. So do you do it every day? I love that. Opal's a viewer of mine that's been watching a while. And I started, I just got this, I was living in my damn car a year ago. So anyway, I bought this TV in like July, and in August, as soon as the first cool day, I started going on YouTube and playing the fireplace. And Opal was watching and shared that oh yeah, I watched that video on Christmas mornings. And I go, well, Opal, why are you just watching it on Christmas mornings? Yes, it's nice to watch it on Christmas mornings, but you got 364 more days a year where you could have the ambiance that a fireplace creates without all the smoke. So yeah, it's Friday morning. I'll tell you what, I got a lot of stuff to do in the next few days. I'm excited. I'm a little terrified, to be honest with you, but I'm also excited to take care of some business that needs taken care of. I am working 2 jobs that honestly, it's their slow season right now, and I've been called off work several times in the last week and a half. And I took these 2 jobs quickly as a response to needing jobs. What a strange reason to start working. But I probably didn't ask the questions I needed to. But I didn't really have the freedoms to ask a heck of a lot of questions. I needed to start working. I was out of work. I had a job I was great at. I was recruited to another. Left the job I was great at for the other, and then they didn't find me valuable at the other job. They didn't think it was working out. God works in mysterious ways, I will tell you what. So anyway, I was unemployed for like 3 days. I quickly got 2 jobs, and I thought, because they both said part-time, it would add up to full-time. But it's the slow time for both of them, and I go in and I don't feel productive or financially rewarded. And I got a lot of things to take care of. And God blessed me with a lot of determination, a lot of spirit, a lot of energy, and a belief in Him and in myself that I can do great things and walk in joy despite my circumstances. Somebody says they want just one. Ideally, you'd have one awesome job. Ideally, I think you'd have multiple streams of income, though. Yeah, the only reason I had 2 jobs, I mean, they were both available. And I thought, I grabbed them. Ideally, you'd have one job, I guess, but multiple streams of income. I'll tell you what, I don't make a heck of a lot of money doing this YouTube, but it feels good making a little bit of money on YouTube. Jolisa says, your job has been slow too. You thinking it'll get busy before the holidays? Yeah, but I just started here, and I don't have the luxury of it not being busy for 2 months. I've had a lot of people say, well, it's hit and miss, and it depends. We'll get busy. Well, I'm going, well, what does that mean today? What do I do today? You don't need me today? Maybe I took for granted how much they needed me at the first job I had when I got to Appleton, Wisconsin. Hello from Sydney, Australia. How are you? How are you? I will be YouTube rich one day. I don't know. It's so not a driving factor for me. Can I do Uber and stuff like that for quick cash? No, I can't. But I don't need like quick cash. I don't, yeah. I'm not like saying I'm desperate at all right now. I'm just saying I'd like to have something I can sink my teeth into and love and be good at long term. And over the last, I put everything I had into being a realtor for 17 years and only did fairly okay. And since that time, I've been kind of bouncing around trying to figure out, and I'll tell you what, it's hard to figure out what you're gonna do at 54 when you've been a realtor for 17 years. And over the last 3 or 4 years, I've bounced around. I've been a server a bunch of times. I've worked as a UPS driver helper. I've worked at Target. What else have I done? I don't even know. But I would like something I'm excited about and can sink my teeth into. And I can sink my teeth into doing this show, and I can sink my teeth into a couple jobs that I've found online recently and have applied for, but I haven't heard back. I talked to a friend yesterday who had worked in HR, and I said, well, I sent him the personality test on Monday, and she responded, thank you, received. And I hadn't heard back. It's Thursday. Should I follow up? She goes, oh yeah, that'd be okay. And I go, I don't want to do what's okay. I want it, will it help? And she goes, it could. Couldn't hurt. So I called, I left a message. Haven't heard back. And I'll tell you what, again, you can plant a seed, but God needs to make it grow. And I think for me, I've always thought I could make the plant grow. And you can put water on it and you can put it in the sunlight. But again, God has to have a hand in it as well. How about hiring a headhunter? They are amazing and free to use. Jill says, you wonder if our applications ever get looked at. Well, I applied online through Indeed, and she reached out the following day and said, hey, can you apply through our website or whatever? And I did. And she sent me some personality profile, which I filled out on the golf course. I downloaded, technology is pretty cool. I was invited to play golf at a nice course in the area on Monday, and filled it out. I downloaded a PDF app editor or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Figured out how to do it and was filling out this personality test, and some of it was kind of hard. Do I think I am overqualified? For what do you think I'm overqualified? I mean, I often think I'm overqualified, but I don't even know. I'm not The hard thing with me is I think I'm qualified to do very lofty jobs. I know I'm good at talking. I carry myself well. I have a good degree and a good education, but I'm not good at structure. Structure kind of makes me anxious, and I'm not good at small tasks. Like I said, I've been a server before, but there's so many aspects of being a server that I'm not good at. I got shaky hands. You know, when you pick up a plate with a spoon on it and the spoon's rattling as you're taking it away, I know it's not brain surgery or life and death, and because the spoon rattles, it doesn't make you a bad waiter, but it's still, I wish I could pick things up with a little more confidence. So I think I'm qualified to do a lot of lofty jobs, but I'm not that good at some jobs that aren't so lofty. Do I think I'm overqualified for the job I'm applying for? No. I think I could do the job I'm applying for at a huge, huge level. I think the job I'm applying for is what I should be doing at a very local level. And I think I could be doing it at a huge level. And I think this would be a great start for me. Lisa, again, you're talking about a side hustle. I'm not looking for a side hustle. Is Ken qualified in anything is the question. Well, I think I am. I mean, you're watching me here. I must be doing something right that you're watching me here. You know? Since I was called off the last 2 days, I put those 2 days to good work. And I went live both afternoons. And I'll tell you what, the afternoon audience is fairly robust as well. I've been doing this morning show for so long, it's pretty darn easy for me to do an afternoon show as well. Jolisa says she's about my age and you're not good with computers and everything, including waitressing, involves using electric devices. Bring back paper and pens. Jolisa, you would have probably loved a job I had a little bit ago. Hey, Brian, you have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Go to the police. This isn't a suggestion channel, by the way. It's funny because people throw out so many suggestions. I'm not really looking for suggestions. I'm really not. I'm just kind of talking. Yeah. I have 2 jobs. I'm just being honest. They don't seem to need me or others right now. And it's funny. I go, wow. You scheduled me, and then you called me off. You know, you do that once, I love it. You do it twice, I'm getting a little worried. You do it 3 times, I'm going, what the heck's going on? I gotta find a different job. It's funny, because I go in and I go, I don't know if I'm really quitting, but I didn't see much of a choice. You called me off, and the other people that were working, 3 times in a week and a half. You know, it's funny, I honestly think, I don't want to put it on management, but if they want to keep stable employees, you know, I would feel it'd be time to have a meeting and say, hey guys, we're going through a slow patch right now. I realize you were scheduled 3 days in the last week and a half, and suddenly you weren't working and therefore not paid. What blows me away, honestly, is there wouldn't be somebody up above that would say, hey, we called these people off several days. Maybe we need to rally the troops a little bit, because, I don't know how you can just sit idly by when they don't need you and say, well, we're going to be busy. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they just feel at this position they don't barely need anybody, and what I'm doing would be too easily replaceable. Again, I got both of these jobs on the week that I found myself needing work. And maybe in this line of work or what I'm doing, they're just so used to turnover that it doesn't even faze them. And again, I talk about it. I think there's issues with the business community. I think turnover is expensive, and hiring new employees is expensive. And Joe Lisa said they give each person 2 days a week. But you're never going to get good at what you do working 2 days a week. To get good at a job, you need to work at it for a little while. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But hiring and training and using HR. But I kind of think a lot of jobs are too bloated, and you have HR to handle this. But to me, it just seems if you put somebody to work for 2 days a week, they're never going to get very good at what they do. Am I applying for LSU's football head coaching position? Now, that's something I don't think I'm that qualified to do. I think I could maybe fire up the troops or talk to the guys or be a positive impact on the team. But to be the head coach at a major university's football team is not something I'm qualified to do. Oh, that's good. That is good. That's so nice. That's so nice. Sometimes it's nice to quiet the crowd a little bit. And I just quieted the crowd a little bit. Sometimes the crowd needs quieted a little bit. It's hard because I do this show, my audience grows, and the more my audience grows, the louder it gets. And at some level, as you go up the ranks, the audience just gets louder and louder, and more people make noise in your life. Love them or hate them. You become president like Donald Trump, there's a whole lot of noise in your life. But even if you're a musician and you bust your butt and you put together what you consider beautiful music, there's going to be critics out there that are bashing your work. Or if you're an artist and you do a painting, there's going to be somebody saying something negative. Sometimes it's nice to just quiet the audience a little bit. And what's fun on YouTube is I can change it to subscriber only. I can hide users. I can mute users. And feels good to be able to do it. Ghost says I have a radio voice. Michelle Roberts, I don't believe you really want to sell funeral insurance. Just a hunch. Let's see. We do have a glorious audience. We do have a glorious audience. And to not acknowledge the glory of this audience, it would be a mistake. Do I believe in love at first sight? I think my definition of what is love, not to get too philosophical on you guys, because I've already talked for 75 minutes, but what is love? A commitment? A feeling? A choice? Do I believe in love at first sight? My answer on that has probably changed through the years, but I'd say no. Kat Connor says love equals appreciation. Ghost says divorced people don't know what love is. Yeah. Angela said love is beautiful. Good morning, James and Johnny. How are you? How are you doing? Love having you here today. What a glorious audience. I don't know what's going on. Maybe people were stoked for a Friday coffee with Ken. Maybe some of you guys had tuned in the last 2 afternoons. Maybe you're loving my Bible reading. I don't know, but I appreciate the glorious audience. What is love? I think I always believed in the fairy tale version of love. And I don't think love is one thing, or really I don't even know that it's definable. Love is sacrifice to your loved one. Again, that's not what love is. That might be what you do when you're in love, but love isn't sacrifice to the one you love. Plus, you're using the word to define the word, and I don't think that's fair. So is love a fantasy? And almost a fantasy that shouldn't be sold, because I think a lot of us believe in the fantasy and the fairy tale version of what it is, the Snow White and the prince kissing her. I think that's Snow White. Or Cinderella. And as if the fact that, you know, that would be love at first sight, where, I don't know, the prince met Cinderella at the ball. I almost think the fairy tale of love is somewhat dangerous. Okay, Mr. Croissant, who I think must have chat GPT, just said, love is a unique and personal experience that manifests in many different ways, from acts of kindness to deep emotional needs. Well, yeah, again, but that just feels like a chat GPT definition of it. You know? That doesn't, I mean, that just says it's really complicated. That wasn't from 1 Corinthians 13. Schlevel Knievel, you can't just cite a Bible verse. Give it to us. Give us the words, unless it's long. Or stay tuned for me to hit the book of Corinthians. What is love? And I don't know. Okay, so none of you guys have a great answer for it either. None of you guys have a great answer for it either. Well, somebody wants the story to end. Love is love, okay? End of story. Mr. Croissant wants to know what inspired me to do these coffee shops. Why share with the world? I think by sharing with the world, I make the world a better place. I help people with mental health. I help people that are going through relationship struggles, that feel alone, that are struggling with sobriety. I think God gave me the gift to tell a story, and a good story to tell. And I thought I'd get them together. Wasn't a plan, it just kind of happened. And it's worked. I don't know, it grows every day. Getting to know you is cheering on the thumbs up, and I appreciate that. Angela said she rushed in with her 2 marriages. You think getting to know somebody before everything gets serious, just start out as friends and see where it goes. Well, Angela, yeah, I mean, that might be good relationship advice, but it doesn't really define love, and maybe there is no definition. Again, Angela, you said you rushed into 2 marriages. I mean, I got divorced twice, so I can say the same for me. Certainly the second marriage I rushed into. Certainly. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor, it is not self-seeking. But that, okay, I've heard those words. I think they're read at a lot of marriages. But that doesn't say really, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs, love does not delight in evil, but replaces with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And okay, I appreciate, Sarah, I really do, and Schlevel for citing that verse that we probably all heard at weddings. But I don't know. I think we can aspire to that. Love isn't probably jealous, but we probably get jealous when our loved ones fawn attention on other people. And to have that perfect love with another person. Okay, wait, Sarah says, in the Bible, where have you been, Sarah? Where have you been? I actually forgot about you, Sarah. It's been so long. In the Bible, love is defined more like an action rather than a feeling. Okay. Yeah. I guess it depends on the type of love. I know, okay. That's self-seeking verse. When we are in loving, healthy, isn't the goal to become the best possible version of ourselves? In emotion. Love is not jealous, said Karen. Well, it shouldn't be, but, and again, Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sin. I'm sure we've all felt jealous. Even the people who say they don't get jealous must get jealous a little bit. I mean, I certainly have. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. By the way, Sarah, you're on your work account. Are you still feeling a little better every day? You find value in my show, don't you, Sarah? You must. You said it was awesome. It's so hard for me to leave a show where a woman who I didn't know 2 or 3 months ago was going through a hard time. And something I said to her 2 or 3 months ago gave her a little hope for that day, and now she's feeling great. Or when a guy hops on, like yesterday I had a guy hop on that was 1 year sober yesterday, I think it was. His name's Mike. And say, he does it because he found me and watched my show. You know, it's kind of hard when you have the ability and the tool to communicate, to leave something that you believe in your heart really matters, to go find some job that may or may not make a difference. And I struggle with that, to be honest with you. And I'm trying to find a job that makes a difference. And I've thought I've had jobs that make a difference. But it's hard when I know this makes a difference to not do it full time, quite honestly. You know. And I know you need to pay the bills. And I've got a lot of bills to pay. And the jobs I have and the hours that they're scheduling me probably don't overly pay the bills. But to go out and just go, all right, after leaving real estate, because I didn't feel it mattered a whole heck of a lot, and to have found this by accident, it's hard to walk away from. And when your bills are pretty significant, it's hard to find a job that covers them. You know, when you don't have a ton of experience in a lot of different things. And what they say, what are you good at? Well, I'm really good at talking. People kind of like me. They say I have good energy and a good vibe. I got a Coffee with Ken show. My audience grows every day. There was a job available for a social media coordinator. But to me, I think that would be a little bit like opening up a coffee business. Just because my show is called Coffee with Ken doesn't mean that I want to sell coffee. And just because I'm on social media doesn't necessarily mean I should be a social media coordinator and I'd like to organize somebody else's social media. Well, my skills are to be able to tell a story and connect with an audience, and to have a positive attitude and work hard. But it's kind of hard to find necessarily where that fits best. And I'm trying. Oh. So it's Friday morning. It is 7:18 in the morning. It is going to be a glorious day. Got some clouds. I guess the clouds probably were there before, but you can see them now because the sky's getting a little lighter. I am going to go to the gym this morning and get a good workout in. Come home, shower, meet somebody, fairly a viewer of mine for a cup of coffee, which again, I'm just a little bit nervous about because they're gonna go, oh, he's supposed to be this way. He's shorter, he's taller, he's fatter, he's thinner, he's better looking, he's uglier than I thought he would be. And I'm just gonna be me. And I'm looking forward to my day. And I hope you are looking forward to your day as well. I hope you are having a great, great week. You had a great night's sleep. Your coffee is hot. You are feeling good. You are loving yourself. You are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.